Welcome returning viewers, welcome new viewers. You're watching the first installment to a 4-part tutorial series where we will model, texture, we will rig, etc. When last I left you, we started on our ear. And here in this tutorial, before we move forward, we want to come and we want to lay our final foundation to our model so we can move forward with our rig and our shape keys. So without further ado, I want to come in here and I want to duplicate our eye so we can create some eyelids. I want to hit Control I to invert those faces, and I want to hide those faces. Now what I want to do is I want to come into my vertex, my vertices, and then I want to select these surrounding vertices as well as these. Well, without any red, let's just go into box select and let's select these bottom vertices here on the bottom of the eye, and possibly we could. I'm trying to figure out how I want to handle this. Do I want to just hit P and separate them? I think that'll be the best idea. Hit P just to separate it. Now let's continue working with this top. Alright, let's come in here and let's come into our modifiers tab so we can speed up the process of our CPU. Let's come in here to our actual model and let's turn off our subsurf, and we can come in here and we can continue working with our eye, designing our eyelids. Let's hit E to extrude on this outer edge. Let's hit E once more to extrude in. So let's back that up just a little bit. Let's hit E to extrude once. Let's bring that down just a tad bit. Let's hit E to extrude. Let's hit E to extrude again. This will give us these edge loops on these proximity edges. So when we set the subsurf back in, it'll give us that nice fine line around the top and the bottom of the eye. And what I want to do at this point is I want to do the same thing to the bottom eyelid. I want to hit E to extrude. I want to bring it up some. I want to hit E to extrude. I want to scale that in. E to extrude once more. Scale that in once more. And just depending on where our extrusion was, where our proximity edges is, we want to grab that loop and we just want to bring it closer so that we can get that fine line coming around our eye. We turn the subdivisions back on our model, we can see the changes that we've made, but we need to come back in here and we need to move our eyelid around just a teeny bit. I want to grab the top one, I want to grab the bottom one, just the bottom one, not the top and the bottom. I don't believe that's the eye itself. The bottom eyelid. Seeing as how we separated the bottom eyelid from the top eyelid and the body all together, we just want to rotate this. Seeing as the bottom eyelid doesn't have nearly as much play as the top eyelid, And our top eyelid needs to be scaled up a little bit so we can tell the difference between the top eyelid and the bottom and the eyeball itself. Possibly, let's see, comma, let's rotate our eye around, say cursor, cursor selected, hit eye, let's rotate our eyelid around our cursor. Let's hit period. To come back so we can move our vertices around. Still to the cursor. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to come back in here and I want to continue working with our shape keys, with our body shape key. We want to continue hiding our body with our shape key. And let's select these vertices, these vertices, these vertices, these vertices, so on and so forth. So we can let me undo this. Possibly that should do. Let's go ahead and let's assign that. Let's tap out into edit mode and see. With our mask, if we come in here and we turn on our clothes, you can see that our arm to our body is still showing through the shirt, and we need to modify our mask on our body just a little bit more so we can hide those areas. So what I want to do is I want to grab these vertices, or these faces, and I want to hit assign. Come in here and I want to grab all of my clothes and I want to right here we've handled the problem that we had right here. Now what we want to do is we want to come in here and we want to mask this area. Just grab these, possibly these faces down here, and let's hit assign. Tab and edit mode. As you can see, that's a bit too much because this is what our character is going to look like in rendered view. We want to speed up our processor. Just come in here and select all our clothes. Let's turn off the subdivision to our clothes. Because when we get into our shape keys, when we start adding shape keys to the face and whatnot, we want to be able to manipulate those areas without slowing down the process. Because we don't want our computer moving in slow motion and whatnot. Because the processor to our unit is trying to handle too much. So at this point, let's come back in here and let's deselect these guys. Matter of fact, let's reselect that. Let's remove that. We don't want to deselect it. We want to remove it. So now you can see that the arm is reattached to the body, but part of the arm is still shining through. Part of the arm is still shining through our shirt. So what I want to do is I want to come in here. This is just tit for tat. There is no yin and no yang. When applying a mask, you just need to be attentive to where your model, as you can see clearly, this is the shirt. Clearly, this right here is the arm. When you start animating and whatnot, when your character starts moving around, what have you, you don't want the wrong body part showing through the wrong part of the mesh. So basically that's what we're trying to handle right now. And yeah, I think it's possibly the best way to explain it. So let's just continue moving forward. Let's continue pressing forward. Let's come in here. I'm just trying to regain my chain of thought. Let's select all of our vertices that's currently selected. Now let's come in here and let's remove this edge of vertices. As a matter of fact, oops. Select let's just grab that entire edge and let's just hit remove. Let's come in here and edit mode and see what we're working with. And let's come in here and let's, with that same one, let's assign. We can see that that's where the problem lays. So with that still selected, let's hit remove once more. Possibly. Let's come in here, let's hit select. Well, you guys get the gist of how masking your character works. I don't want to stay here too much longer. I need to move forward with our rig to our character and our shape keys. So without further ado, let's come in. Excuse me. Let's come in here and let's bring in our. Let's just bring in a single bone. Make sure. Let's hide this emitter light, emitter plane, and let's bring our bone into play. Let's turn on X-ray so we can see our bone through our body. And let's come in here and see. Let's our tools mirror. Alright, so guys, here at this point, what we want to do is we want to hit Shift and E to extrude. Shift E and extrude our bones. Shift E once more. Shift E once more to extrude to our fingers. And here we want to hit Shift E and extrude for our pelvis. Shift E to extrude for our thigh. Let's undo that. Shift E. Let's Shift E for the foot. And all we have to do is come into object mode, grab our model, grab our bone, hit Control J, Control P with automatic weights. We come in here, select our armature, come into pose mode. We can grab a bone and we can begin to move our tiny character. As you can see, his fingernails is still there, but essentially that's the quick and easy way to assign an armature to your character. So without further ado, I'm gonna have to leave you guys with my motto: if you're gonna dream, dream big. Good night, world.